Today is February 7th, 2019. MTSU men's basketball, they take on Charlotte University later today, and it marks what is near the end of my time as an employee of first EMC Productions and then eventually turning into Media Arts Productions. And this video is kind of my reflection on my time being there in school. Ever since I attended high school in a small little town called Rudderville, Fred J. Page High School, I was just passionate about doing video, just being creative and telling stories. And I toured MTSU and toured the production truck that we have there, and I wanted to be inside of that, and I wanted to have my hands on that equipment. And I just knew that I had to come to MTSU, and it all started just to do video. There's a crew there. I mentioned the name of it already. I was a freshman. I didn't really know anything, but I wanted to be a part of it. So I sent an email to Robert Gordon and just said, hey, I don't know how much I know. I don't know how much I don't know, but honestly, I just want to show up and I just want to learn and be a part of the crew, and you don't have to pay me anything. And just teach me. Just let me hang out, watch, and learn, help out a little bit here and there, but really on a low level, I'll take anything. Initially, I was just a grip, just pulling cable for a handheld camera, letting them go wherever they needed to go to get shots for the broadcast, and it was something I enjoyed, something I was glad to be a part of, because the truth is that live TV feel, that the quarterback's only going to throw that pass once. The dunk is only going to happen once. So you get one opportunity to shoot it right or to shoot it wrong. There's no do-overs. There's no second chances. Even if I shoot a wedding today, they're only going to kiss once, and he says you may not kiss the bride. That's only going to happen one time, and if I miss it, they're not going to kiss again so I can get it right the second time. No, the moment's past, the moment's gone. It only comes once. And I just enjoy the adrenaline, just that feeling of I got to do this now, I have to get this right now, and just that adrenaline to where you don't even think about doing stuff, you just do it. And I just love that feeling, and I just love that flow, and I just love that environment that a live TV production has. And so even as a grip, man, I would go to the camera meetings. If somebody showed up late, I would fax their camera for them. I would listen to micromark, do shading and white balancing for the cameras. I tried to do anything I could just to get on and learn. Eventually, through that process of just kind of showing up and talking to people and learning, I was able to slowly move my way up. My sophomore year, I got into running dashboard a little bit. Hopefully, for my producer, Brett Gilbert, hopefully I gave him some good stats and didn't pop up anything that was incorrect too many times. But there was one moment, I'm going to play it right here.
She does so many things, and it's hard to avoid the name Ty Petty when you're calling a Middle Tennessee basketball game.
And with that, Ty Petty has 17 points. That is her 9th straight game with 17 points or more.
Where that stat was, all me. I had that pregame. I was ready for that moment. I was counting down. And when she hit that point, I was we were ready for it. And I remember in the truck, that audio doesn't exist anymore. But in the truck, it was awesome. It was a great stat. It was a great moment of telling that story, and because everybody knows who's winning or who's losing, but you have to look at it at a much deeper level. Why is this team winning? Why is this team losing? Do they usually win? Do they usually play well? Do they usually suck? Who's playing well on their team? Does this player usually play this good, or does this player usually play this bad? You got to look at those deeper storylines, and that was something I enjoyed about doing dashboard, but graphics was a little difficult for me, really technical. But eventually I got to move over and do some camera work my sophomore year as well, because that's kind of what I was doing, is I was just kind of showing up and doing whatever the upper management, the seniors at the time, let me do. And so I did camera every now and then, so hopefully Zach, I didn't get too many shots that were out of focus. Hopefully most of them were worth taking. But yeah, being camera is fun because you're inside of the venue, you're like with the crowd that's there, you know, when you're in the truck, you're kind of locked off in your own little room, and you don't really feel the atmosphere of the stadium, of the game going on. But when you're running camera, you are a part of that more, so it's kind of more fun that way because you're talking on headset, so you hear the people in the truck, but you're kind of off on your own, and I like that a little bit more. But I didn't get to run camera as much as I wanted to because there was one day where we were fortunate to have this opportunity. We do high school basketball championships for NFHS, and we only had one replay up. Isaac Shaw is his name. He was all by himself. And because I'm the guy who just shows up all the time and doesn't have a concrete position, I just get thrown wherever. Where I got thrown on replay, and at that time we had the microns. Shout out to that system. I got thrown onto it and said, hey, learn this right now and do this for a pretty legit network, pretty legit director. You know, they brought in a really good director, David Dow is his name, not some regular student who doesn't really know what he's doing, like all of us. So I just got thrown on replay and I had to learn it, and basically those first 2 days, you know, I leaned on Isaac and he basically did all the work. We got to share in the credit, thankfully, but he did all the work. But I was fortunate to have that opportunity and just kind of fell in love with replay because you're doing live edits. Live on TV, you see the game cam, and then unless replay pitches a better angle, that's all the viewer sees. So then, you know, the replay guys, we get to decide kind of what's important, what's worth showing again, what plays were significant in what's happening in the overall story. And one of the greatest challenges I found was we would put together a melt reel for the end of the game. And so like that's the last thing in the broadcast is our little 25-second melt that's meant to really wrap up the entire game. And that was something I really enjoyed. I'm going to throw a little montage right here of different endings and even like a little side-by-side of the system working while my playlist is working through on the air. But it was really just, honestly, that's really where I found myself the happiest and the most excited, because we got to throw together these packages, and like I was saying, we got to decide what plays were important, what moments were important. And those are the things that get showed. Again, the things that aren't important just go away, and we get to really make those calls. Obviously, you know, Zach Leonard, our producer, and eventually Kevin, the next producer, obviously they make calls too, but we're behind the controllers. Most of the time it's us selling what we think is important, then they give their opinion. So it was a really, really cool opportunity, and that's honestly where I found myself the happiest in our live broadcasts. But eventually, my senior year, got to be one of the head leaders of the operation. You know, there's the TD, there's the director, and the producer, kind of the three main dogs. They each have their own little pathway, and I became the TD, the technical director, and everybody knows that we get the biggest responsibilities.
You want me to?
It's okay.
You want me
Above
to?
the line carrying the cooler.
You want me to stand in or help or anything?
No, someone needs to film.
When we go to lunch, we drink water,
This is true.
but we only have one cooler,
And it's full of stuff.
so we have to carry it from truck to lunchroom.
But I've never seen above the line carrying a cooler until today. No.
The trick is, carry it the last few feet, so then you get all the credit.
Absolutely.
See, everyone inside of there doesn't know Mason carried it. They just think me.
I'm sure Jonas won't carry it because he doesn't do anything around here.
But joking aside, it was, you know, a cool honor and a cool privilege for me to be able to be the guy that was in charge of every technical aspect of the show. You know, Ryan would have his vision and all the creative elements that he wanted to have and that he wanted to do. Well, I was the guy that had to make sure that stuff worked. You know, I had to make sure the cameras were turned on and functioning properly, that replay was able to do all of their stuff they needed, expression, audio, all of those things that Ryan was going to call upon, I had to make sure was working, was functioning. I had my switcher, I had my board, and all those buttons. That's controlling the show. That's controlling what's going on. So I could turn on ESPN and see these big wipes and these big instamps go on screen. It was cool that I had the control to call those same things up and to run those same things. And I'm just a 22-year-old college student that has no idea what he's doing, and I'm getting to play with the same wipes and the same flares and the same graphics that professional TDs are out there using, and I'm sure they use them better than me, but it was still really, really cool. And just being able to be creative and serve the broadcast. I'll show this moment right here.
So I had a revelation. I said, why not help me out directing so that I don't have to tell every camera what other people have? Okay, JJ, it kind of is, but no one needs to know that. So I said, why not put a quad box with camera 3, 4, 5, and 6 in return 2 so they can pop return 2, see what the other cameras got. And look what we did.
Yeah, I've been working really hard on this.
It's true, he did.
Camera 3, camera 4, camera 5, camera 6.
It is perfectly lined up. Every camera is the same size.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful quad box.
Yeah.
And cameras will appreciate it. And we're patent is pending on this quad box. So
Yeah.
no one can steal it.
And Stephen Hart didn't think of it.
Yes. This is,
Ryan
I don't
Tyler.
think so, but I did.
Ryan Tyler and Levi Underwood thought of it.
Well, you didn't think of it. I thought of it. And then you helped me.
Okay. You had the idea to build the house, and I built the house.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. History.
Being made here at MTSU.
It was halfway through basketball season where Ryan came to me with this idea and said, hey, let's build this. And then I built it on my switcher and, got to help out the cam ops. And it was it was really, really cool, just getting to be creative and create. And to just take on that leadership role after, growing or being a freshman, being a sophomore, and learning under these upperclassmen, then I get to be the upperclassman that's being the leader and teaching others. It was an awesome thing to do my senior year for this crew because it's one I appreciate a lot. But ultimately, my time here has just been really, really strong because we're all students. We all have a desire to go out and make it in this field. And I've, worked a decent amount of freelance opportunities out in Nashville and beyond, doing live sports production, live video production. But my start came right here. The first paychecks I got doing video, which were mind-blowing to me because I just love doing it, I would volunteer to do it, they all came right here at MTSU and EMC and MAP Productions. And just met a lot of great people, had a lot of great connections that we all help each other out. We all hope we succeed in the industry. And to the people that are older than me that are already gone, and to the people that are younger than me that I kind of got to lead, and just met a lot of great people and had a lot of great opportunities that did stretch beyond sports. And really I owe it to that truck and that program at MTSU to really help make my dream of doing video production for a living really come to life. And I hope to go far beyond MTSU and do a lot of cool stuff and make a lot of money doing video, but ultimately my start came, right here, wearing this shirt inside of our truck and part of the crew. So I'm very blessed to have had the opportunities there. And so any of my fellow students, fellow colleagues that watch this, seriously, thank you for being a part of this journey with me. For real, it's been awesome. Been awesome.
Forced turnovers.
I
That's
don't
one
want to
for
risk it.
Blue Raiders. Just not necessary.
There's no
Just get
biscuit.
set, stay in your position, and let the person coming off
Thank
the
you.
screen run his defender into you.
Middle back
That's
to
got to
the
make it in the
1-3-1
documentary, okay?
Offensive. That's just 2 less than what Charlotte averages as a team per
Biscuit
game
reference.
on the year.
Yeah, Haslam's got 4 offensive rebounds.
Tape does nothing wrong, sir.